Welcome back. Now, while Crazy Taxi is just about to arrive in the Dreamcast, another even bigger game is waiting in the wings. It's Resident Evil Code Veronica. And if you saw last week's show, you did watch last week's show, didn't you? Well, then you probably want to see more. Here you go. Resident Evil Code Veronica takes place 3 months after the events of Resident Evil 2. Once again, playing Claire Redfield, you attempt to fly off to Europe to investigate the disappearance of your brother Chris. Unfortunately, though not too surprisingly anymore, things don't work out all that easily, as she is abducted and taken to a tropical island where some familiar rotting friends start showing up. The game will ship on 2 GD-ROMs and will feature a slightly modified version of the zapping system from Resident Evil 2. Players can play as different characters for each disc, with each character's story intertwining with the other. The 2 characters will be Claire and her brother Chris. The game will cover 10 major areas and will be 1.5 to 2 times longer than Resident Evil 3. New features in the game will be the ability to hold a weapon in each hand and shoot at 1 or 2 separate targets. As is pretty evident, the graphics are stunning. All the backgrounds are done in full polygons, allowing the camera to move with the action. Code Veronica also makes use of the special effects of the Dreamcast hardware, like dramatic lighting and shadow and characters with skin, so you don't see the jagged polygon edges. When gunshots are fired, the blast actually affects the lighting. Once again, the always important sound effects are back in necessary form, making anyone feel right at home, albeit a really unpleasant and frightening home, just how we like it. Look for Resident Evil Code Veronica later this year. You know, the graphic capabilities of the Dreamcast just make flesh-eating zombies look so good. It just makes you wonder. And now if you're a fan of deep space and alien worlds, this next game may be just what you're looking for. It's the latest installment in the Colony Wars series, and it's called Red Sun. Here's the preview. The new Colony Wars installment, Colony Wars Red Sun, will boast improved textures, a soundtrack performed by a live orchestra, 30 new weapons, 8 fully customizable ships, 5 entire solar systems, and more of that dramatic full-motion video that provide the epic cinematic tone to the series. In this new version, you aren't part of the League or the Navy. Instead, you play Valdemar, free man and space pilot that bears some similarities to Han Solo.
Valdemar, God almighty.
How then does this work in a mission-based military campaign? Well, as a mercenary, your allegiances are part of your own self-interest. The game will build upon the dynamic mission tree structure from the second game, Vengeance, where divergent paths will result in different endings. In Red Sun, you may side with the Navy, with the League, or neither. The game is still mission-based and boasts a whopping 50 missions, but the overall directives will be more open-ended. So you may wonder, will Psygnosis go all the way to allow those most shrewd space cowboys to play both sides against the middle? We'll discover the game's pompatus of love when it hits the shelves this spring. Now, leaving the realms of deep space, we step into the Nordic past to join a Viking chap in the up-and-coming PC title Rune. This is a third-person adventure using the Unreal Engine, and when I saw it for the first time, it looked clearly to be a promising title. Here's a preview. If all of Wagner's Ring Cycle can't satiate your need for classic Nordic excitement, then the very impressive-looking Rune from developer Epic Games and Human Head Studios might be your own private Valhalla. In the game, you play Ragnar, a Viking lad who is about to take that fateful journey into manhood and rightfully proclaim himself as warrior of the village. The remarkable look of the game is due to the use of the Unreal Engine. Plus, skeletal modeling for both characters and objects will lend a greater physical realism to the environment. Furthermore, the control scheme for the game could be the best yet for a third-person adventure on the PC. Using a setup similar to a first-person shooter, the game seems set to overcome one of the greatest flaws in most games of this type. Options to plant the camera at one point to explore a room and to adjust the distance from the character using the mouse wheel should go a long way to avoiding disgusted abandonment on the part of the player. Look for Rune later this year. If you'd like to find out more about the upcoming gathering of developers titled Rune, go to our website at ZDTV, where you'll find the streaming video. And check out our preview of Resident Evil Code Veronica. Not only do we have the preview, but we also have the intro, which is very impressive. And while you're browsing our site, click on our spy cam and check out and see what the Gamespot TV minions are up to. Coming up on Gamespot TV. They're just good old boys with a bad guy car, and they have themselves their own PlayStation title. We have the intro. And we have a strategy guide for one of the best platformers ever made for the N64. It's Donkey Kong, and we have the tips that will keep you from monkeying around.